What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I am your good friend and host, Kory Willis. Hope everyone out there is doing well on a Friday, getting set, getting ready to watch some great games this weekend in Week 5 of the college football season. So, everyone out there, I hope you all are doing well on a Friday, getting ready for a great weekend ahead, some college football. As always, guys, we appreciate you all listening to the show. You know where to find us. We're on multiple social media platforms out there. If you want to follow the show, you can follow us on X, Instagram, and at TikTok at BD Sportscast. Of course, you can find all of our content there. If you are an avid podcasting fan, like I am, and listen to a lot of your favorite podcasts, whether you're at work or in the gym, you can always listen to us on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're also on Amazon Music. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to the Breakdown Sportscasts, past and present episodes on there. So definitely find the show on there, and yeah, we are there bringing you guys great audio, and also, as well as bringing you guys great audio, we present ourselves here on our YouTube channel, of course, and our official Twitch channel, Breakdown Video Game Cast, where Chris and I are playing some college football 26, maybe a little Madden in the future. Of course, we're gonna have to set that up one day, Chris, for us to play some Madden, get on college football 26 together with our leagues eventually.
Yeah, I hate to give your cards a L with with the 49ers. I hate for Ricky Pearsall to have Will Johnson out here looking bad, but we might have to make it happen.
Yeah, look, if it happens, I won't shed a tear. Maybe I would. Maybe I'm bluffing a little bit too much. But it is what it is. What it is. You gotta take it on the chin. Every now and then, and just roll with the punches. So.
You're a Cards fan. You know this all too well. You never know what you're gonna get with the Cardinals.
No, you don't.
Win.
You might you might lose. Definitely agree with you on that. So yeah, man. But yeah, folks, definitely leave a like, comment, and subscribe to all of our channels, and it's definitely important for Chris and I as we grow the show for the future. And yeah, also we are hoping to get to 100 subscribers on our official YouTube page. So yeah, guys, keep liking, subscribing to the channel. Of course, is definitely helps Chris and I as we grow this community with you lovely folks out there. So yeah, if we can get to 100 subscribers, guys, like I said last episode, it will automatically put your name into a raffle. We're going to try to do a raffle, Chris and I, in order to see who can come out of that raffle with a potential chance to win a t-shirt of their choosing from their favorite college football team. So yeah, guys, try to get those subscriber numbers up. We want to see if we can get to 100. If we can get there, we will place you in a raffle for a chance to win a free t-shirt courtesy of Chris and myself. So it's a token.
We already been making moves. You guys have almost doubled our count since the last episode. So yeah, we really appreciate it. So just keep smashing that subscribe button, keep smashing the like, hype the video up. That's a new feature.
Absolutely.
Do all of that. So no, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, just like what Chris said, we appreciate you guys' support because you guys are the driving force of us doing great content here on the YouTube channel and beyond. So as always, guys, we very much appreciate you all's support with the show. As always, guys, you just heard him. I'm with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much. Just ready to get to it. It's another fun week. We got so it's a weekend that I'm sure we all have been looking forward to. Some marquee matchups. Georgia, Alabama, Penn State, Oregon, just to name a couple. Some big time games and big time brands. Some blue bloods in the game. So this will be a fun weekend for sure. So we're about to see who really is the big dog. With some of these matchups.
Absolutely, Chris. Yeah, this is the week right here. This is the week that we've been waiting for the last couple of weeks, where it's just a banger after banger after banger. I not want to quote the one great Sheamus from WWE too much, but look, this is a week, Chris, where week 5 we got some bangers on the schedule, and I can't wait for us to watch these games on Saturday. It's going to be a big day, big slate, and I also can't wait for us to delve deep into some of these results on our live Sunday show as well. It should be fun.
Yeah, no, we definitely got some bangers. I mean, it's even games like Auburn A&M. See how Auburn can bounce back. Some bounce back games. Illinois, USC, they'll be playing as well, and that game kicks off at 9 a.m. local time. Good luck, SC fans. You'll have to get your coffee, wake your butt up in the morning for that one. So it's plenty of games, plenty of good matchups going on all across the country. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
As the one great Lane Kiffin once said, Chris, and you already know where I'm going. Get your popcorn ready. Oh, hey,
man! Look, he sampled that saying. We got to get a credit to T.O. We gotta take it back to T.O.
Like he flipped that record. Like he definitely took a sample away from Terrell Owens. Hall of Fame wide receiver yes, Terrell Owens. So yeah, man. His lane. He's always gonna give you some sound bites that it's just gonna be stuck in your head for years to come. Because it's Lane Kiffin. That's what he does.
That's what he does, man. One of one.
Yeah, absolutely. One of one. Like I don't know any other human being that's just like Lane Kiffin. He's definitely one on one.
That's for sure.
Well, Chris, are you all ready to delve into the week that is week 5 of the college football season?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, here we are, Chris. Week 5 of the college football season. A great slate of games. Let's go ahead and kick it off with one of the biggest games of the season in the SEC. Georgia hosting Alabama. The line right now is Georgia at 2.5. Over under, Chris, is at 53.5 right now. Big game. Big game for both teams. Both fan bases are definitely going to be happy if they can, seal the victory and get that big W after this game concludes. The loser, oh my gosh, I don't like. Where do you start? I don't even want to hear what people have to say about the loser in this ball game, because both of these fan bases, Chris, you know just like I know, they're rabid. They're rabid audiences. They love their teams, and when they don't get their way, when they don't win, there's a lot to be said. And it's going to be interesting to see once this game is done, who looked better in the end. I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's not even going to come down to you want to you lost or you won. Probably it's really going to look down. It's going to look towards who looked better in the end, who looks like more of the playoff team, and who can potentially take control with their schedule in a large amount of time, of course, because this is week 5 is still going to be a long season ahead. And there's going to be a lot of big games on both of these teams' schedule left. But in order for someone to get the W in this game, it's going to take a lot. And whoever wins, they're definitely going to be satisfied, but they can't look ahead. But I want to get your thoughts, Chris. What are your thoughts about this game? What's been on your mind this week as we get closer to this matchup?
Yeah, it's a good matchup for sure. You know, it's become a rivalry between these two programs, two teams that perennially at the top of the SEC. Of course, especially when you had Nick Saban, who's the head coach, and his dominance of the conference, Kirby Smart and his documented struggles against Alabama. Georgia has had a tough time beating Bama, no matter what kind of team Georgia has had. So this will be a big matchup in the sense of, can Georgia finally get over that mental hurdle? You know, last year's game was a classic. Got behind a lot, had to make a huge comeback just to give it up at the end. I think this year's game, Georgia has looked to be the better team to start the season. Georgia showed moxie, resilience, a never say die, never quit attitude on the road at Tennessee in front of over 100,000 fans. Found a way to win. The Kirby, just like a Kirby Smart team, literally finding a way to win. Because you could argue that team shouldn't have won that game, but they won. Then you look at Alabama. Alabama has not looked like Alabama, especially when they are on the road. And this game happens to be between the hedges in Georgia. First time Ty Simpson will be in a hostile environment that in the SEC. We saw how things went in his first hostile environment game of his career on the road at Florida State and how Alabama got handled. I can't erase that out of my mind. I know Alabama's been solid the last couple of weeks, but I still have that image of how that team looked in an environment like that. It's going to be very similar between the hedges. Georgia has the home winning streak. I think Georgia continues to win at home. I think Georgia gets over the mental hurdle, gets the win, and I think they win handedly, Kory. I think this is a decisive victory for this Georgia team. I know Bama has athletes. You can't overlook this roster. But this has been like a thing with Kalen DeBoer coach teams, especially in his Alabama tenure so far. When they are on the road, they just don't play the same like when they are at home in T-Town. And I think that's going to rear its ugly head in this matchup. And I think Georgia, riding on the momentum of how they won against Tennessee and being able to win a shootout, a legit battle, a clash of the Titans kind of game, I think they are ready for this matchup. And I think Georgia takes care of business, dominates a lot of scrimmage, because Alabama has looked soft. They don't look like the same physical Alabama team that you've come accustomed to over the years. If Georgia can assert their dominance at the line of scrimmage, this one really might get ugly. But I'm going to say Georgia does win 31-14. I think the Dogs get them by 17, Kory. And we will hear some angry Alabama fans if that is the case.
And look, the Kangaroo Blacks. Shout out to Kangaroo Black on YouTube and all. Like you gonna hear them all. They gonna it's gonna get ugly. Look, if any one of these fan bases, if any fans want to come and vent on the Breakdown Sportscast, it's okay. Yeah, we can talk it over. We can talk it over.
Yeah.
But no, Chris, I think you're absolutely right. This is a big game for both teams, of course. I'm interested in seeing what George is going to do. In Athens, between the hedges. They're gonna be, in front of their home crowd, of course. Can they take what they learned from the Tennessee game and keep up that momentum throughout this season. This is a big test. This is a hungry, and some may say desperate, Alabama team after losing the first game of the season. How do you respond after an emotional game that you had to go through in Knoxville? Can you take care of business in this game? This is gonna be a lot in terms of seeing how Kirby and this Georgia Bulldogs squad responds. I'm very much interested in seeing how this goes, Chris. Interested in seeing how the defense plays from Georgia. They did not look great at times against Tennessee. That secondary was just getting blown out by the Tennessee receivers, of course. Is that going to be a recurring theme this season? Is that something we're going to see, or have they figured out some things throughout the bye week to get ready for this game against Alabama? So it's going to be interesting to see in that perspective how things go for Georgia this weekend. For Alabama's side, look, I think Alabama, Chris, after losing that Florida State game, they are desperate. They are definitely desperate. They are trying to make a statement. Ty Simpson right now, I will say this, Ty Simpson, he has done pretty much everything to show you that he deserves to be the Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback. He deserves to be QB1. The thing about it is can this offense, can this defense, keep their head in the game? Can they do what they need to do in order to stop Georgia if things start to roll in Georgia's favor? I'm interested to see what happens with that because we've been wondering, where's that fight in the old Crimson Tide? We know Nick Saban's not there anymore, but we want to see a lot of Alabama fans. They want to see that from Kalen DeBoer's Alabama squad, kind of in the vein of what they saw from Nick Saban. They want to see them in big games handle their business and take their eye out of football against teams like a Georgia, teams like an LSU, and so forth and so on. People want to see that. So far, I mean, we saw what they did with ULM. They took them to the woodshed, and I mean, like Jeremy Bernard, heck of a receiver right now. What he's doing right now, if there's anything about Jeremy Bernard right now, Chris, he is definitely the guy to watch in that receiving corps right now. So
he's wide receiver one.
Yeah, he's wide receiver one through and through, and
respectfully to Ryan Williams, but he's been the one that's game in and game out.
Yeah,
has
right.
come to play.
Yeah, definitely agree, Chris. So, they're gonna need him. They're gonna need his talent. They're gonna need Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams has caught a lot of scrutiny the last couple weeks, of course. He did come back strong against Wisconsin in a big way. They need that consistently from him as we move toward conference play this season, Chris. And hey, if you're an Alabama fan, you want to see more production from all of these players. Ryan Williams, the defense, you want to see it all. And this is a great opportunity, like I said, for them to showcase that this week. So, for me, if I had to give it a score, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and say Georgia wins this game by a touchdown. I think we're going to look at 42-35. Georgia wins this game.
Okay. We got another shootout in our hands.
Yeah, I think so. I think both of these teams, they definitely have their strengths. They definitely have their weaknesses. I think the weaknesses for both of these teams will pretty much reminisce last year with the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little, they're not tight enough back there. I think it's just a little loose. Not it's not as tense back there. So I look for Georgia to pull out of this game, Chris, with the W. Won't be easy, of course, but it will show still a lot of poise and a lot of fight in this Georgia Bulldogs team this season as they try to get back into a playoff run.
Yeah, I'll be curious if it is a close game. How does Ty Simpson look in crunch time? We've seen what Gunnar Stockton is made of with the game on the line. Will this be Ty Simpson's chance to step up to the plate, rise to the occasion, and show what he's made of? So I'm curious to see if that ends up being the case. Will be a fun game though, that's for sure. When these two teams, when they lock up, it's always an event. It's always crazy. So in the aftermath, imagine Kory, if Bama does lose, and we have 4 games into the season, and this team's record is 500, 2-2. Can you imagine the words that will be spoken out of people's mouths in T-Town? What the talk radio will be like?
I can imagine. Just tune in to Paul Feinbaum at 2 p.m. Central on the SEC Network. You'll find it all there, folks.
It's gonna get ignorant. It's gonna get crazy, and boy, yeah, it's a must-win for Bama.
It is.
Georgia needs it too, but it truly is a must-win for Bama.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. Very interesting ball game. Can't wait to watch this one. We're going to learn a lot about these two teams, more than we already know. And yeah, I think by the time this game is done, yeah, we will know. The proof will be in the pudding, as the good old saying goes.
If Bama loses this, boy. It's going to be a long season for Tide fans. I'm going to say that right now, Kory, because it don't get any easier.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, look, we've beaten this horse down.
We're going to keep beating it.
we have talked about this extensively, Chris. After this Georgia game, win or lose, it don't get any easier. Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, at South Carolina.
Those first 3 that you just named, to play them consecutively, those 3 are playing some really good ball in the SEC as well. We'll see how Tennessee does against Mississippi State, their first road battle of the SEC season. But Tennessee, Missouri, and Vandy, boy, that's a little bit of low key of a murderer's row right now, the way Vandy and Missouri playing.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't be scoffing at the schedule like this, after this game. I'd be on high alert.
Vandy,
I'm Alabama.
Hey, we'll release our updated top 25. Let me tell you right now, Kory, Vandy's in the top 12. That's the playoff team that they low key playing. Vandy is legit. So
yeah.
They better win this one because, like we said, it's rough out here, boy. You got some games coming up.
Exactly. Yeah, you much rather want to be 3-1 than 2-2 after the fact if you're Alabama. So just saying. But it should be a great game, Chris. 6:30 kickoff on ABC. Can't wait.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So yeah, Chris. Anything else you want to add to this game before we move on to our next game?
I'm good.
All right. So yeah, we will see, folks. Moving along now, Chris. we have a interesting ball game in the Big Ten. Penn State hosts Oregon. Penn State, the line right now is at 3.5 in favor of the Nittany Lions. The over under is at 52.5 right now. So yeah, Chris, Penn State taking on the Oregon Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be an interesting ball game. We want to see more from Drew Allard. And pretty much this whole Penn State squad overall. It has not been a beautiful thing to watch with Penn State football. If you're a fan of offense, you leave a lot to be desired so far in the first few games of the college football season. But Chris, these are the types of games that, quite frankly, people were questioning James Franklin on in terms of being the guy at Penn State. Look at this season; they're still questioning him. Can he put a game plan together, Chris, to stop the Oregon Ducks? That's what I'm interested into seeing. If you can, sky's the limit for this Penn State team. I'm still gonna be kind of, asking questions, Chris, on like where was this? What was this in the beginning of the season? Why now? But overall, if they can do that, that'd be great. But if they can't, the scrutiny is gonna get louder at State College, and hey, nothing I think James Franklin will be able to do about that.
No, the only thing you can do about it is, like we said, like you just said, is win this. You got to win this game. Home game, um, it gets crazy at State College. Those fans, night games especially, they are a different breed. But I feel like Oregon has Penn State's number. I feel like there is a world where Penn State wins this game because Oregon's defense of weakness is stopping the run, and that is the strength of Penn State is running the football. But Oregon has looked much better to this point, and I feel like Dan Lanning, he will emphasize to his team the importance, especially we're in Big Ten play, on the road, of winning the battle of the line of scrimmage, whether that's setting the tone defensively and stopping the run, and that's setting the tone offensively and running the football. Um, Oregon, with Dante Moore at quarterback, he has looked every bit of the truth. Potential Heisman candidate. He has run this offense very well, flawlessly. And I think Oregon, despite, they have some injuries in the offseason, Oregon still has the horses on the outside at receiver to be a dynamic offense, to make big plays. I'm going with Oregon. Um, whether it's close or if there's a team that blows someone out, I feel like Oregon is the team that's set up to blow out Penn State. And that would be something to see in this matchup if that does end up being the case. I feel like Oregon should win comfortably. I think Penn State they'll be kind of in the game. It won't get too out of hand. But I still feel like Oregon will win with some wiggle room, about a 10-point victory. I'm thinking like a 34-24 kind of ball game. Um, a game where if you're a Penn State fan, you feel like if we just clean up a few things, we could have found a way to win. We should be able to win this one. But I haven't seen anything that gives me the confidence to pick a Penn State to capitalize on the plays that they should. That just hasn't been this team's MO the last several years. It just is, when it's a big moment in a game, they struggle. They don't find ways to win the game. And I think that kind of will continue here. And I'm gonna give Oregon a 10-point victory.
Interesting take, Chris. Yeah, I think you're right, man. It's weird to see a Penn State squad that year in and year out, they're recruiting at a very high level, and in a world where you think that they could handle the Ohio States, the Michigans of the world in this conference, they fall short just about every time. It's so mind-boggling to see it, Chris, that Penn State can't get over the hump in taking care of their business. And if they don't win this week, it's just gonna be another example of what people have been talking about in terms of Penn State not handling their business. It's definitely gonna be heard around campus. Right now, Chris, Drew Allard, he's 57 for 88 passes, just 4 touchdowns and 1 interception right now. In like the first 3 games of the season. When you look at Dante Moore, night and day. 71 for 95, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's like,
yeah. And Allard's the one that came into the season that we are talking about as being a potential top 10 pick in the NFL draft next year. How skilled he is, the arm talent he has, and he's not looking like that guy. He ain't look better than the guy that left Penn State. Bo Pribula has been just going crazy. He's been doing this thing in Missouri.
Yeah, Bo's been balling for Missouri right now. He has that team undefeated. He had a big game over South Carolina. And you look on the flip side, Penn State right now. You're 3-0 heading into this Oregon game this week. But have you looked dominant? Have you even showed a shred of why people picked you in the preseason for being a top tier team? Some people had you in the top 5, top 10, or definitely, of course. Like you said, Drew Allard, NFL scouts were raving about him in the preseason. He came back. We thought, this was going to be an even explosive Penn State than we saw last season. So far, we haven't seen it. Will we see it this weekend? I'd like to see it this weekend. I think a lot of fans, Penn State fans, would love to see it this weekend. But can they put it together? That's going to be the test. Can James Franklin and company put a great game plan together to stop Oregon and to control this ball game? One thing, you at home, but you got to execute on the plays when they're there, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can do that.
Yeah, James, don't let them keep calling you James Franklin out here in these streets, man. I know you had your playoff run, but we need you to win this game. It's a big one. Win this one.
Absolutely. So yeah, Chris. I'm going to go ahead and say Oregon wins this ball game. I'm going to say Oregon wins 28-21. Late game touchdown gets them the victory. And, Penn State, they're going to try to drive and get into the end zone to probably get this game into overtime if they can. And I just don't see them get...
not the ugly head rearing itself from how last season the season ended for Drew Allard. Are we getting a late game interception with the game on the line?
Look, I think you're gonna run it back. I think we're gonna run it back, Chris. I think we're gonna run it back.
that's tough. That's tough. That's tough.
That is tough.
I will be rooting if it's a close game like that. I will be rooting for Penn State to find a way to either win or force overtime, or at least see Drew Allard redeem himself in a moment like that. You know, he wants a moment like that. He's ready for another close game where he can step up and make the right play and ultimately make the play. So we'll see. This game might present that opportunity. Two very good teams, that's for sure.
Yeah, two very good teams. I definitely gonna go head to head. When you look at the talent, it just shows. It just shines on the depth chart. Well, from these two programs. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, Chris, to see what happens in this ball game. Can't wait to watch it. I think just James Franklin. Yeah, I think that's my storyline. That's my storyline, Chris. It's James Franklin. I think. Look, we all know that Dan Lanning's about that life. And look, if you're James Franklin, be ready for anything, because Dan Lanning will find a loophole and he will attack that loophole with force in order to win the ball game. We all saw how he did that, how he executed that against Ohio State last year, Chris. So
you ain't lying.
Watch out.
You ain't lying, boy. No, that's the truth. That is the truth.
In a season where we've seen, people act as if they're being substituted only to be running down the field.
Yeah, that was diabolical. Auburn fans tell it. That's why Mateer had to get surgery. I know you saw the replies. They said, yeah, that's karma.
That was the punishment. He needed thumb surgery. What would we do now? That's what Oklahoma had to say. In terms of that news.
Oh boy,
we're panicking. We gotta figure this out, guys.
Good luck, Sooner fans. I'm sure we'll be getting into that too. But yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck indeed. So yeah, Chris, it should be a fun game. I can't wait for us to talk about it on our live show coming up this weekend, this Sunday.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. Anything else, Chris, you want to add to this game before we move on to our next game? All right.
I'm good.
Sounds good. Well, now, Chris, we are going to head to none other than Oxford, Mississippi, Chris.
Man.
That's a big SEC game. We talked about Alabama, Georgia. This one is massive.
Yeah.
Ole Miss hosts LSU. The line right now, Chris, 1.5.
Good reason.
Vegas, they don't know what's going to happen in this game. They're just like, look, just somebody take this 1.5, damn it.
Y'all just go play the game, man. Just go play the game.
They just push both Lane and Brian Kelly out the door. Just go play the game, okay? We'll talk about it after.
You know how you have a couple dogs and you got a toy and you just throw the toy so the dog can go play with it.
Yeah,
that's what they doing. They just throw a football out there, let them go play.
Oh man, that's definitely what this looks like, and this is definitely what this game is going to be, because it's always down to the last play.
That's the Magnolia Bowl. Never know what you're gonna get with the Magnolia Bowl, man.
No, you don't. Not at all, Chris. But yeah, the line is at 1.5, and the over under is at 57.5. I think that's probably a little bit too high at this point. Who knows? So, but Chris, I gotta say, what I've seen these past couple weeks from Trinidad Chambers, LSU.
That boy good.
That boy good. I'm sure that's what Brian Kelly says in the office when he's like looking at the tape. He's just like, that was good. That was good. And then in the back of his mind, he's like thinking about the Weeks brothers and everyone on that defense. Like,
oh no, he been well, I was gonna say speaking of the Weeks brothers, Lane Kiffin. He been sleeping at night and waking up in the middle of the night like D Wade in that Gatorade commercial, thinking about them boys.
you know he has. Look, Whit Weeks is living in that man's brain rent free as ever can be.
Yeah, it helps when you got an Instagram post to remind you of who Whit Weeks is and his involvement in your life.
Literally. You get calls from family members, you know, you're like, hey, got a big game this week.
This whole
Yeah. Just an amazing storyline, Chris. Like that going into this week, who knew that we would all find out that, you know, Lane Kiffin's daughter and Whit Weeks, you know, beautiful couple, you know, wish them all, but, you know, great success in life. And, you know, once, you know.
The premeditated hard launch on game week.
Exactly. I look, if Lane Kiffin, he's gonna, you know, potentially, you know, we'll see, you know, go down the aisle with his lovely daughter, and, you know, let her loose, and Whit Weeks is gonna be like, thanks, Dad. You know, you release the Kraken. You know, I have the ring, and you allowed me to beat you on my terms on your field. It writes itself, Chris. Like just pure cinema. And that's if that happens.
Be something. Now, on the field, this game will be something too now, Kory.
Yes.
This game will be something else. You already laid it out there. It's basically a pick'em.
It is.
And I know we both have been very impressed with Trinidad Chambers. He's not giving up that starting spot. I think he's the guy at Ole Miss now, Kory.
Oh yeah. I think, you know, Austin Simmons, you might as well get ready to go to the portal, son.
Or get ready for baseball.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, Trinidad has been the truth, and this offense has been moving the ball up and down. It's been very effective. The defense has had its troubles. We gave up a lot of points to Arkansas, but granted, Arkansas has one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. So I will give you that. Because Taylor Green he's a sneaky pro prospect. I haven't heard too many people talk about him possibly, you know, what he could be in the NFL. I feel like if he goes to the right place and is able to be developed, I like what I've seen from him over the years. So he definitely has pro potential. But then you look on the other side of the coin with LSU. We thought this offense would be dynamic, Kory. It's been the defense carrying the load for LSU this season. The defense has been elite. Offense has left a lot of meat on the bone, much to be desired. And in this game, you're going to need your best offensive performance of the season. Definitely will. Will we get that? I'm ready to find out, brother.
Absolutely, Chris. There's a great saying that I like to toy around when I'm talking about LSU over the years, and anytime that their offense doesn't become up to par with what their defense is, and that's been a lot of years with LSU. If I'm an LSU fan, I'm always wondering, why can't we have a a distinct, relevant offense that's consistent week in and week out and year in and year out. Why can't we have that? But the saying that I always like to say is offense, defense, defense, offense. When in doubt, if we ain't got no offense, we definitely got some defense to showcase to you.
But I got that. Defense is, I mean, that secondary, I would say it's the best in the nation. I mean, they've been putting that seatbelt on left and right. You know, they make sure you strapped in tight. You ain't going nowhere. Safe travels, buddy.
Exactly.
So the LSU secondary has been legit, and if they want to win this game, the defense will have to be legit. The defense will have to travel. And I think that's something else you can hang his hat on. Because I feel like more than anything, defense tends to travel for teams. And so will the offense turn up? We'll find out. And we heard Brian Kelly. He said, we just wanted to win the game. We just wanted to win the game. You know, we heard what he said about Florida. We've heard him over the weeks. So we coached the game to what the game was, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay now, Brian, this is time. You say you've been holding stuff. You said we're going to see that offense the LSU media has been questioning you about. You said we about to find out. We need to find out right now. Saturday on the 27th. Because this Lane Kiffin and Trinidad Chambliss, you're gonna find out about their offense for sure. So we need to see what LSU is made of on offense. I'm gonna say this, Kory, just to wrap up. My pick. LSU has had its troubles on offense, with especially offensive line run blocking. If there's a defense, I think that you can be able to get that figured out and try to establish that on the road against. Ole Miss has had its cracks. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to trust the talent, the team that coming into the season, I felt like had a potential to be the best team, and I was looking at as the best team in the nation. I'm not going to waver. I've gone back and forth all week on this one. I'm going to stick with LSU finding a way, the offense making plays, getting Barryon Brown involved. I think he can be huge in this one on the road. He's an electric player, and you need to get the ball in his hands. You need those explosives on the road. Quiet down that Ole Miss crowd. LSU wins a tough one. It ain't going to be easy. It's going to be close. 27-24. I think we'll get a great game.
Nice. And look, if the Tigers can do that's going to be an impressive win for them, Chris. Going into that environment, Oxford, these folks are going to be loud. The pom-poms are going to be swinging. You're gonna hear that Ole Miss, PA system. Like you're gonna hear it all. Like you're gonna hear it all. You're gonna see the hot toddies, walking around the Grove. Yeah. It's gonna be something else. But if LSU can handle their business and they can muster up some kind of offense, Chris, because if you look on the flip side, this Ole Miss defense really isn't that dominant like they were a year ago. They got some. Mm-hmm. They definitely got some cracks in the armor, and if you have a really good offense, you can make this Ole Miss defense pay. So you gotta create a great offensive game plan this week to make sure that you can keep up with what Ole Miss can potentially do to you defensively if you're not on top of your game. You got a great defense, hang your hat on that and figure out a way to score some points, because if you can do that, I think they can handle Ole Miss in this game. It won't be an easy cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination, but I think if they can settle down, figure out their running game. Start with that because we know what they have with the receiving court, Chris. I know you've raved off that receiving court since the preseason. I think they'll be fine. So that's why I'm interested in to see it. If they can do that, I think they'll win the ball game just fine. So for me, if I had to put a score together, I'm going to say LSU wins this game by a field goal. I'm gonna say they win this game 23-20.
Yeah, I got you. I can see that too. And if it's a low scoring game, that favors, I feel like, LSU. If it gets into one of them running gun shootouts, that
I don't know.
I think I can see Ole Miss, having a few more bullets in the chamber. That's what Lane Kiffin wants. He wants it to become a track meet, and we've seen Ole Miss with a track meet, just won one against Arkansas.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen LSU in a track meet yet this year.
Right.
I don't feel comfortable with LSU in the track meet just yet. So I'm with you, brother. If it's a lower scoring game in the 20s, that's LSU territory. You start cranking into the mid 30s, hey, you might be favoring that home team. So no, this will be a fun one. We're going to learn a lot about both teams because if Lane Kiffin get that signature win of beating a highly touted LSU team, Trinidad Chambers showing that he is the guy, this could be a Heisman moment for somebody like him with how he's been playing since being inserted in the lineup. This is a huge game for both programs. Brian Kelly, boy, you thought you've heard it from the fans. Don't nothing rile up them fans like losing to a Mississippi school, boy. So lose this game if you want to. You're going to be hearing it all week as soon as you cross state lines back into Louisiana. You're going to hear it before you cross state lines. You're going to hear it on the ride to Baton Rouge. So, Godspeed, brother, because if it's a must-win for anybody, it's a must-win for LSU.
Yeah. I think if you're Ole Miss, you can survive a good week after a loss like this. For LSU's sake, it's a little bit different of a storyline with them because they've already had to deal with the questioning of their offense. One from their coach. Where is it? Why haven't we seen this explosive offense? Yeah, it's one thing to, beat down an FCS school. It's another thing of you actually handling your business against an SEC opponent. An SEC opponent that has really good talent, but you're LSU. You get blue chip talent year in and year out.
The whole state of Louisiana.
From your home state. Yeah, right. You own that state. It's literally just you. It's not literally. It's not literally just you. You
right,
have a lot
right.
of
But
schools, but
other schools that have multiple SEC
right.
teams. You got your Mississippi State and Ole Misses in Mississippi. You got your Auburn and Alabama's in Alabama. But hey, it's all you, baby.
Yeah.
LSU.
Exactly.
It's your state.
Right. No disrespect to Tulane's and Raging Cajun and stuff. When it comes down to blue chip talent, these guys they want to go to one place, and that one place is Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And they want to play for the Tigers. Hey, you gotta show up and show out with the talent that you have. You can't come into an environment like Oxford, Mississippi that's going to be electric and be lackadaisical. Offensively, defensively, special teams wise, you're going to have to create a great game plan to stop this Rebels offense, just the team in general. So I'm intrigued, Chris. I'm intrigued to see what happens this Saturday. It should be a fun one. It's definitely a toss up of epic proportions. I'll say that for sure.
No, I'm right there with you. I mean, definitely can see Ole Miss winning this. This is I feel like LSU should win. I will say that. Like I feel relatively good about that pick, but by no means is it impossible for Ole Miss to win a close one or to even mess around and win big. Just because there's so many cracks in LSU's armor offensively, and the defense can only hold up for so long. So this could play out several different ways. I just feel the best about LSU escaping with a victory.
Agreed. Agreed. So we will see, Chris. Should be a fun one. Can't wait for us to talk about it live on our Sunday show.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else you want to add to this game before we move on to our final premier game on today's show?
Nah. Let's move on.
All right. Yeah, folks. Before we move into Ohio State and Washington, feel free to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, to the video. It's definitely important for us as we grow the community, of course. Now, Chris, Washington hosts Ohio State this weekend. Ohio State right now, the line is at 7.5 in their favor. Mm-hmm. Over under is at 51.5. I'd be remiss to say that I haven't watched much of Washington this season, Chris, but that's okay. I'm going to, take a little time this weekend before this game starts to kind of get a chance to know their team. They're 3-0 right now, just like Ohio State. And right now, there's a lot of people looking at this game, Chris, as probably like a really, really good litmus test. More than it was against Texas. I mean, that was a litmus test. You went up against a top 5 defense in America, in the Texas Longhorns, and you took care of business at home. This time, you're about to go into Wazoo. And
that's
sometimes
a loud place, boy.
It's a loud place, and it's a weird shaped stadium. Maybe that's the reason why it gets loud.
The way that place is designed, it keeps that sound in. And I remember watching the Oregon-Washington game, Kory, a couple seasons ago. And just through the TV, I'm like, oh my goodness. That place, it might need to be ranked top 10 loudest stadiums in the nation on NCAA, on the new EA CFB, because when it's rocking there, ooh-wee, it ain't easy. I saw an Oregon team that I just knew was going to beat Washington that season a couple times. Get pieced up, and but no, that it gets loud in Washington for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what was it? The game last year, between Washington and Michigan, and Washington won that game, of course, and yeah, that game, you could just tell those people they were ready to take Michigan to the woodshed. And the one true Will Rogers, former Mississippi State quarterback, during the Mike Leach era. Yeah, he definitely helped that team seal the victory in a hostile environment. Fast forward now, Chris, you got new players on the team. Damon Williams Jr. Right now, he's 50 for 68. 6 touchdowns right now. You got Jonah Coleman, 51 carries, 9 touchdowns. Then,
Physical.
yeah, I've heard that he's a very physical running back. So I'm definitely going to after we get done recording, I'm going to watch
I,
a little highlights
I'll
of
tell you
it.
who he'll remind you of, and you might already can guess without me even saying, just by me saying he's a physical runner.
Um, I
It's
mean,
our
there's
time. It's bowling ball. He got
oh
some bowling ball to him.
okay, a little Josh Robinson in him.
Yeah, man, he got
Okay,
some bowling ball to
okay. I was gonna say Money Ball. I was gonna say a
him.
little Michael Dwyer. You know.
A little bit of that too. A little bit
Yeah.
of that too, man. He's tough. And this Washington offense, second highest scoring offense in the nation. They've been putting up points. Granted, they play cupcake teams, but they've been executing and doing what you expect a team to do against the cupcakes. And now you step up to the big dogs. You welcome Ohio State to town, Kory, and we know about the artillery, the weaponry that Ohio State has.
Yes. I mean, you can't forget about what this squad has. Of course, I mean, you got Bo Jackson and running back. We already know about Jeremiah Smith and what he brings to the table.
Carnell Tate.
Carnell Tate, another great wide receiver. I think Caden Curry is a great defensive end for Ohio State. Just a
Mm-hmm.
bevy of talent on this OSU squad. Yeah, they definitely pose a great threat that Washington hasn't seen yet. I think Washington will expect it. They will be ready, Chris, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. Just because this is Ohio State's first big test on the road, can a team that's definitely had guys, leave, of course, for the NFL draft after winning a national championship, can they handle business in a hostile environment this Saturday? We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
We
Like you
are
said, Washington isn't an easy place to win at.
not by any means. And this is quite the game. There's a reason the spread is what it is. I want to say is it 8.5 now? I think some places 8.5, some 7.5.
Right now, from what I've seen, and let me take the refresh. ESPN is they have Ohio State at 7.5 still to win the ball game on Saturday. So
I can see Washington covering the spread. I can see this being a real battle, tough matchup, tough game for the Buckeyes, and really challenging the offense to have his stuff together. For Jeremiah Smith to play like Jeremiah Smith, for Julian Sand to be that 5-star, Elite 11 prospect that he was coming out of high school. I can see some slick track meet appeal to this game. Um, we'll see how it plays out. I know Washington will want to punch Ohio State in the throat, and they plan on running this football. Coleman, if Coleman gets 25 plus carries, that tells you Washington is in the lead. Washington is controlling this game. And I like what I've seen from Washington. The offense has been very efficient. Oh, man. I want to pull the trigger on the upset, Kory. I really do. Because Washington is good, and this is a tough place, and this is a young quarterback. I don't think that could be ignored. You know, we just assumed coming into the season, we just saw this not too long ago with Ty Simpson. We just assumed Bama, more talented team. Um, Yeah, Ty Simpson, he is an experience. This is his first time playing on the road, ruckus environment. Similar, very similar in respects when you compare the situations. The only difference is that was week 1. This is week 4. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the upset. I'm gonna say Washington. I think we go ahead and get the 2007 season kicked off with this one. We see Washington beat Ohio State in what will be a tight one, highly contested, hard fought, drag them out, tough battle. 31-28, walk off field goal for the Huskies.
If that happens, those people are gonna go ballistic. Rushing the field is going to get crazy. And hey, if that happens, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's gonna be one heck of a weekend in college football if that takes place. So yeah, look, Chris, I'm starting to kind of feel like this Washington team isn't playing. They're not going to be playing with Ohio State in this ball game. I think Ohio State should be on red alert. Washington's coming. If I had to put a score on it, I'm going to go ahead and say Washington wins this game 35-28. Late game touchdown gets them the lead, and they take the air out of football by playing some good defense and stopping Ohio State in their tracks.
That's the game plan. That's the game plan. I want to say real quick too, if Ohio State wins and handles business and does so handily,
it's gonna be impressive.
Yes, I don't want people to be like Washington ain't good. Give the flowers to Ohio State. That means Ohio State is here. Like, we knew they had the talent. They have put it together, and it might be a long season for the rest of the Big Ten, whoever plays Ohio State. Because if Ohio State comes into Washington and puts a stomping on them or wins by 14, 17, covers the spread, wins, controls this game, that means Ohio State is ready. So that would be my takeaway out of this game, because from what I've seen from Washington should be ranked. That's from what I've seen. They have played some really good football and should be a team that potentially is one of the top 20 teams in the nation. So this will be an impressive win for sure.
Absolutely, very impressive win. If they can seal the deal. I like both of these teams, Chris. I think both of these teams, Ohio State, reigning defending national champions. You know what they bring to the table. Washington, a team that should not be overlooked in the Big Ten conference at all.
Our boy is coaching them.
Yes. He is. Yeah, Jed Fish. Former Arizona coach. Yeah, I like what Jed Fish brings to the table. Heck of a football coach. He showed that at Arizona. We thought Arizona was done being competitive. They seem like they're doing just fine without him. And now look at him over in Washington, balling.
And, I mean, what else do we expect from a Jed Fish coach team? He knows offense. He put Noah Fafita on the map. Teteroa McMillan. He brought in guys like that to Arizona. So we shouldn't be surprised that he also we shouldn't be surprised that we've seen a team like Washington make this leap. Washington it's a good program. If you get the good coach at Washington, you normally make magic. You normally see the team play like they are playing now. They play good football.
Yeah, I agree. So I mean they always consistent. They do their jobs pretty well. Those Jed Fish coach teams, and they're always locked in as well. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying, Chris, if you're Ohio State, don't get into this game being unfocused. If you're unfocused,
we've seen this movie before.
We've seen it way too many times. And yeah, if you come into this game unfocused, get ready for this game to be a long one because Washington and Jetfish, that they'll definitely make you pay. We've seen it before. We can see it again this Saturday. So,
yes, sir. No, that's 100% correct.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, this is gonna be an interesting ball game. I can't wait for us to talk about this on our live Saturday show, Chris. I think this is gonna be a fun one.
Same.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want to add to this game, Chris, before we move into Bolton's bets for Week 5?
No, sir.
All right, folks. Now we are about to head into Week 5 of Bolton's bets. You know, you want to make a little extra money this week. We got some great games for you. So, Chris, we got Indiana taking on Iowa. Or Indiana, I should say, is an 8.5-point favorite. Over and under is at 48.5. You got Indiana taking the spread in this one. So, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, Iowa perennially great defense. So, hey, all I needed to see from Indiana was what we saw. And Indiana has a Heisman Trophy candidate, Mendoza, at their disposal. And if you continue, which I assume will be the case this game, to put Indiana's offense on the field, it's only a matter of time. No matter how good your defense is, good things will happen for Indiana. Iowa, perennially, has one of the worst offenses in the Big Ten. I think it's just a perfect dynamic setting up for Indiana. It might be close in the first half. It might have a few, 3 and outs and some struggles. I think it's a game wanes on and continues. I think Indiana will get stronger, mess around and win this one by 21 points. She'll win by a few touchdowns, I think.
Yeah, I think what we saw last week from Indiana, Chris, was no fluke at all. I think Indiana, that what Mendoza and company are going to do to Iowa, man.
Yeah. And I'm being kind by saying 21. It could get real disrespectful.
I think it could. I think it will get real disrespectful this Saturday. Look, I know people have been kind of making the funny little jokes about Kurt Signetti's comments of course each week, leading up to games, and talking about he's like a walking T-shirt. he's a man of of not that many words, short phrases, but hey, it gets the job done. I think that's just in his DNA, Chris. And look, you can't knock a guy for backing it up each and every week. He backs it up each and every week. He showed you last week. He's about that life. He probably has a T-shirt. He probably wants a T-shirt that just says "about that life." Like,
I learned everything I needed to know from that performance last week. So, yeah. Y'all got my respect, Indiana.
Yes.
Don't worry about that.
Right. And do not worry about that. Where respect is earned, respect is given. And I'm going to give you all that respect. I'm going to give you all that love. I'm going to show love. Because you deserve that, Indiana. So, it should be a great week for the Hoosiers. Another big win, indeed, taking on that Iowa Hawkeye squad. So, yeah, Chris, moving along on Bolton's bets, we have Tulane traveling to Tulsa. Tulane is a 15.5-point favorite. Over under is at 51.5. So, a big bounce back win that you're looking for Tulane and getting after, getting manhandled by Trinidad Chambers and that Ole Miss offense. last week.
Yeah. Somebody gotta face the wrath of Tulane and John Sumrall for what took place to them. So I feel bad for them boys because Tulane is about to come in mad and ready to whoop some ass. And Tulane already, without the added motivation to come in off of a loss, is a tough team to deal with. Already one of the perennial best since John Sumrall has been the head coach there. It's been one of the best G5 teams. And now they just got skull drugged by Ole Miss. Oh, Kory. This one gonna get ugly too, brother. 15. Hey, after they go up 15, it's not enough. After they go up 21, it's not enough. After they go up 31, it's not enough. Tulane finna run it up. I got them winning big.
Oh man, it's funny, Chris, because the Tulsa, they're called the Hurricanes. Hurricanes are supposed to form potential tsunamis, and it looks like it's gonna be the other way.
Yeah, boy, it's about to come down. The storm is about to be unleashed on them. So feel bad for them. But this. And it's a road game too for Tulane, and so you just know they're going to be extra focused, extra locked in.
Yeah,
I mean they might go up 28-0 in the first half. Like it's going to be one of those performances that I'm anticipating, especially from a John Sumrall coach team.
Exactly. And one other thing to add, Chris, just last week you saw Memphis, a team that you know very well, win against an SEC opponent. There's no time for being lackadaisical and beating other G5 opponents that you're gonna see. Mm-hmm. You want to run it up. You want to run it up. You want to run. It's not enough.
It's not enough. That's all you gonna hear from the sidelines.
You want to run up the score. If you can do that. Into showing that you still got a pulse. You want to show the committee you ain't out of this yet. You still got a lot left in the tank. Look, it was a minor setback. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, minor setback, but don't worry, we gonna get things back on track. So I think that's what John Sumrall and company are gonna do this week in handling Tulsa just fine, Chris.
Yes, sir. I agree.
So yeah, that gonna be an interesting one. I had to pop in to see that game. What time will that game be? Oh man, the Mississippi State Tennessee game will be going on at the same time. So only one game has to be played, but don't worry. With the ESPN app, I guess I could you can
click over on the commercial. You know what I'm saying?
See
what's going on.
Do the multiple monitor. Format. Maybe that'll work for me. So yeah. We will see. But I think Tulane will handle business this week, Chris. Just fine.
Agreed.
Yes, sir. And our final Bolton's bets, Chris, for week 5. You have Baylor destroying Oklahoma State. Look, Oklahoma State had a rough week. We just lost a legend in the college football world in terms of Mike Gundy. Not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, it's gonna be a new look of Oklahoma State.
New look, same result.
At this point of the season, you're right. After what we saw from them getting, manhandled against Oregon, yep. Yeah, I don't see any fight left out of this Oklahoma State squad. I think it is what it is.
I think so. Baylor, another team coming off a loss. So they will be ready to unleash some anger on somebody else. And Oklahoma State, they can't stop the nosebleed. We saw how that game went down against Oregon. It was
bad,
just slaughtering, real bad. And Baylor has a prolific and dynamic offense, and I expect the Bears to run it up. It won't be enough, and
it's not enough.
Not enough. That's all you're gonna be hearing, I think, from the coaching staff, from the players on the sideline, man. It's more. Shout out to Kobe. More. And
that's what Sawyer Robinson gonna be saying as he tries out to the field on each drive. I want more.
Yes. Yes. Their scoreboard is gonna. I think it's gonna be a whole lot of points scored in this one, and it won't be for Oklahoma State. I'm expecting like a 55-10 kind of ball game, Kory. I think Baylor. They put a beat down on Oklahoma State because they just did a better team. There's a reason. I believe the spread's 21 points, correct?
Yeah. Right now the line has Baylor at 20.5. Over-unders at 58.5 right now. So
yeah. I think Baylor they up the score on them. So I expect them to cover that.
Yeah. I think Baylor is definitely going to take care of business this week against Oklahoma State. Look, this Oklahoma State team is not what any fan in Stillwater imagine it to be, Chris. And now Mike Gundy is out at Oklahoma State. You got to find a new man down there in Stillwater. And hey, look, that I know the athletic staff, the athletic directing staff there at Oklahoma State is hard at work trying to find that person, whoever that person's going to be. Not going to hear their name until probably later on at the end of the season. And they want to get on the ground running in terms of recruiting and getting people into the program that they want to be a Cowboy. And it's going to be tough times ahead for Oklahoma State, but hey, it's we've seen this before, Chris. Look, it's us Mississippi State fans, of course. We've seen what it's like.
It's part of the process.
It's part of the process. So yeah, it's just life as a college football fan, of course. You got to roll with the punches.
Exactly.
But yeah, Chris, those are your Bolton's bets picks for Week 5 of the college football season. Some great picks out there. It's some great games this week, Chris. Really great games out there. We didn't even talk about A&M hosting Auburn.
Yeah.
That game's going to be massive.
Huge game. Must win for Auburn.
Yes. Must win for Auburn because they can't get that win. It's going to be a lot. Hugh Freeze going to have to discuss with the media.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of talk going on, but I think Auburn is very motivated, and I think Auburn does win, Kory.
Hey,
Auburn finds a way to win.
If Auburn wins, there's going to be some teams out there licking their chops, waiting for A&M because, oh, great, we found a weakness. Hugh Freeze discovered a weakness that we didn't know that we could find. Let's attack it.
Right when you're ready to count Hugh Freeze out, I think he will jolt to life and find a way. Auburn feels like they should have won in Norman last week. Mm-hmm. And I'm banking on the Tigers using that as fuel rather than letting one loss become two. I think they go into the 12th man. Won't be easy.
Yeah.
But they know they got to get this. I think they find a way to get it.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, Chris. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that game. We failed to mention USC taking on Illinois. I mean, maybe seeing what happened with Illinois last week has us kind of, not really um, worried too much about what Lincoln Riley can potentially do to Illinois. So
they could run it up. They can definitely put a beating on Illinois. But we're going to learn a lot about USC too. They're catching Illinois at just a tough time, man. When a team gets embarrassed like that, and we know how Brett Bielema gets down. Well, they finna see red. They finna see blood on the field on Saturday, and I think USC is in a tough spot. Because I think it smells like just Illinois bouncing back. It feels like a bounce back game for Illinois, especially when we have regularly had questions about USC and Lincoln Riley. Is this USC team different? Can they break through? We're going to find out. But if they are different, they're going to earn it in this one, Kory.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely agree, Chris. It's gonna be a fun one. We'll get up to start our day watching this game on Fox. Another big noon kickoff between these two teams. So I think we'll definitely learn a lot about Illinois, and we'll definitely learn a lot about Maava and this USC Trojans offense.
Yeah, they look to be the part so far.
So yeah, we would definitely see on Saturday about that game. Notre Dame at Arkansas, Chris. Look, I've listened ad nauseum to Arkansas fans. They are ready for this to end. However way it has to end, they are waiting for this to end. Possibly, sounds like it may end after this game.
Vegas feels like it's going to be a close one. I think it's hard to measure is the intangibles and the fact that Arkansas very well 2 seasons in a row, I think I might add, should have a different record at the beginning of the year than what they actually have. This team is cursed. They can't get out the first month without winning the game they're supposed to win.
Yeah.
This team really should be undefeated. And they lost because of fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stop fumbling the ball.
Which is unfortunate from this Arkansas squad, Chris. It just bad luck.
At some point, man, when you look at yourself, when you're in the locker room, you're like, we gave up 2 games. That's hard to bounce back from.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame needs a win too.
It's a game of 2 teams that desperately need a win. You know what, Chris? This feels like
football.
This is desperation football. You know what? This is that late NFL season. I need a win so I can make it to the wild cards.
Oh man!
If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Notre Dame really has to win this one. Because it would be one thing to lose again, Kory, but do you want to be the team that loses to Arkansas, the team that just can't get right? You want to be the team that they get right against? You can't be that if you're Notre Dame.
No, you can't.
But yeah, I feel like Notre Dame should win. But I will have my eyes peeled, especially if this messing around is a close game. Because either way, it's going to be cinema if it's a close game.
Absolutely. I think it's not going to be anything less than great cinema on a Saturday afternoon.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, Chris. And let's look at a couple more. Look, we got Tennessee, Mississippi State, a game. I've been hearing from Tennessee fans, of course, all weekend. Mississippi State fans. Sneaky game, Chris.
It is a sneaky game.
Sneaky game. I'm going to say this, and I'm not just saying this just because I'm a Mississippi State homer, because I know that. Look, if Tennessee goes out, Chris, and they have a performance like they had last year at Arkansas, this time at Starkville, The cowbells are going to be ringing. They're going to be ringing loud. Could this be the moment, Chris, where you see a little, cracks in the armor from this potent offense at Tennessee if things don't go well?
You play like you did against Arkansas. I don't know. I feel like for some reason, I think Mississippi State's offense is on the up and up. And the game might not be as close as that Arkansas game if you come out playing the same way. Hey, it's an interesting matchup. Tennessee can definitely come out here and, put low-key put a beating. Quiet the crowd in Starkville and maybe run it up on Mississippi State. It's very well possible with the veer and shoot offense.
Yeah.
That both of these teams play. Who can find their rhythm? Who will avoid 3 and outs? It makes for quite the dynamic, Kory, because this game could go so many different ways. Even though you might feel like your mind is telling you, yeah, Tennessee will handle business. They'll win by like 17.
That's the word.
We'll see. That's why they play the game.
That's why you play the games, Chris. There's some people out here saying that Tennessee could handle business and just run the score up on State. Look, that very well may be the case. And if so, we'll be right here talking about it and giving praise to Joey Aguilar and this potent offense at Tennessee because they've been humming. Mm-hmm. The question I want to know is, can they keep it humming? Because they haven't been in an environment like Starkville.
It's going to that place, boy. We know how loud it gets at Davis Wade. Underrated with how loud it gets. That place will be rocking.
Yeah.
The whiteout. It's going to be shaking, tossing and turning at Davis Wade. That place will be on tilt. Especially if Mississippi State gets a lead, gets ahead of Tennessee to start the game.
And it could happen. Look.
Hey, that's Jeff Levy's MO. When State wins the toss, they say receive. We want the ball. They mess around and go down the field and score. And now you got to deal with 65, 70,000 Mississippi State fans with a lead to get your game started, your first offensive possession. We're about to find out what you're made of.
Absolutely. I can't wait for that matchup, Chris. We're going to be watching this Tennessee defense. The secondary had little stumbles. Of course, they've shown their hand in that Georgia game. This week, you got to cover the fastest man in college football.
Yeah.
Can you do it? What do I know? I'm just a guy with a microphone.
We gonna see. We gonna find out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, Chris. We're gonna find out for sure. But just a bevy of games this week, Chris. Overall, I can't wait for us to talk about all these games. Kentucky at South Carolina, another one of those. Somebody got to win, somebody got to lose games. In the SEC, my gosh, that game, that game, we're definitely going to be watching that game after the Tennessee Mississippi State game.
Oh, boy.
Because you Kentucky or you South Carolina, like,
that's a loser. Coach might gotta go home kind of game. They gonna be if South Carolina loses to this rendition of Kentucky, they gonna forget all about last season and all the success they had. They gonna be ready to get Shane Beamer as, hey, what the hell going on? Why you can't be losing this Kentucky? We got Lenora Sellers, and you talking about you're supposed to be a top 10 pick, and you losing to these boys? Oh, they gonna be hot. 38 hot in Columbia.
Yeah, get ready for the transfer portal. Rumors circulating around Columbia. It's not gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, and then for Kentucky. It's just driving that dagger further for Mark Stoops and his time at Kentucky. So yeah, it will be interesting. More interesting for the losing fan base. So that's what I'll be keeping my eyes peeled for.
As always, look, we here at the Breakdown Sportscast, love a good sports crash out from, every now and then. So
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week, Chris. Week 5 of the college football season. I can't wait, man. I can't wait for Saturday to get here. It's not come here fast enough.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm ready too. So let's get to it, baby. Let's watch these games.
Yes, sir. I agree, man. Well, Chris, another great show, sir. Always great to chop it up with you talking college football. Before we head out of here on today's show, got a couple outros. I'll go ahead and start with you, Chris. Let the good folks know where they can find you on social media.
And holla at your boy on X, otherwise, as I call it, still Twitter, always and forever. Chris_Bolton_12. Holla at your boy. Of course, we do the pod. I also do work with MLBBro.com. Baseball we're wrapping up the regular season. It's about to be postseason time. We're still going to keep the content coming. So, just follow me on there and also on Instagram, Chris.Bolton_. Holla at your boy.
Awesome. And go Detroit Tigers. My Detroit Tigers are gonna try to run it up on some of these teams in the playoffs this season. So
yes, sir. Scuba.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, definitely follow Chris on there. He does great work at MLBBro.com. So yeah, definitely follow him and his team there. They do great work getting you ready for all things in the MLB and beyond playoffs. So yeah,
yes,
folks.
Sir.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on X at Listen to KSW. Of course, on there talking college football. Of course, the MLB postseason is about to happen. Professional wrestling is definitely revving up. Got a couple more matches from the great John Cena. Rumors out there saying Edge might show. Who knows, Chris? I doubt it. Unless Tony Khan is just like, you're just going to write an enormous...
That'd be crazy.
That would be. Did you see at the last AEW pay-per-view, he did the 5-knuckle shuffle, just kind of as a tribute to John Cena? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I thought that was a nice little thing to add, a nice little nugget.
Yeah.
For wrestling fans out there.
For sure. We love when legends respect legends.
Absolutely. Even from afar. Oh man, because this battle gets rough, Chris. AEW, WWE, it gets hostile at times.
It does get hostile.
So yeah, folks. Definitely follow me on there. Of course, always willing to chop it up with you good folks out there. So yeah, but guys, we will be back with another episode on Sunday, our live episode, our live stream here on our official YouTube and our official Twitch channel. So definitely find us on there as we wrap up and talk about everything that happened in the week that was in week 5 of the college football season. So definitely tune in to there. Definitely find us on all of our social media applications, of course. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the video. It's definitely important for Chris and I as we build this community, this great community that we've built so far. And we're not going to stop. We're going to keep continuing throughout the season and beyond, because you guys are what makes this show, makes this channel great. So as always, guys, we appreciate you all being here with us each and every week talking college football. So yeah, guys, that's it for us. Like I said, we'll be back on our live Sunday episode talking about week 5 of the college football season. So yep, definitely be sure to tune in then. But until next time, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We will chat with y'all later.
Peace.
Peace.